Simple question. Will you allow your rider to pay you cash? Now, Uber introduced this in 2016 in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, and the amount of robberies, drivers getting hit because they knew that driver accepts cash, it went up, it spiked. And Uber's reasoning for this is like, oh, well, you know, a lot of people don't have credit cards. A lot of people don't have bank accounts. They're just dealing cash. And dear driver, I'm speaking to you. I mean, if they don't have credit cards, and let's say they're not credit worthy and they don't have a bank account, do you really want those people in your car? Now, I'll leave a link to the article. I agree with Sergio Avidian from the Rideshare guy. He's like, hey, this is a massive, massive safety issue. Now, if and there were several people interviewed for that article. One actually said, yeah, the rider got in the car. They were matched. The driver accept cash, or said they would accept cash. And you don't have to accept cash, right? You don't have to accept cash. You can opt out. And I highly, highly suggest everyone, I mean, this is a dangerous, dangerous business. This is a dangerous job, my friends. Driving people at all times of the day, and now you're facilitating cash. And I think what happened in Brazil, in Sao Paulo in 2016 with robberies spiking, I think this is someone with bad intentions dream. Oh, they know you got cash on board. And if you, for some reason, as the driver, you don't have the change, right? And they come in and the trip is $80. They only have $100 note, $100 bill. The rider doesn't have change. Oh, don't worry. Uber will credit the rider $20 to the next trip. So if you've received cash through the system, they've paid you $200, $100, then that's cash that you are holding. Now Uber wants it split. Uber wants its part, and they will then start deducting their share of this cash from your future trips. I also think that's a bad idea for drivers, because it puts your entire accounting in whack, right? You accept cash up front, maybe you go out and spend it, and now you have to give trips more and more rides in order to pay that split back, because Uber is definitely going to take 60 to 70% of that cash trip. The common theme in this article, Business Insider, drivers being interviewed, was that drivers said, hell no, this will not make me feel safe. In fact, this puts a target on my head, because anybody getting in the car who doesn't have a credit card, who doesn't have a bank account, and is a cash person. Now, cash is king. I understand that. I like paying with cash. But in this business, I would rather leave that up to the taxi drivers. And taxi drivers have a couple of elements of safety built into the cars. They usually have those thick plastic plexiglass screens, security screens. There's a little hole where you can maybe pay or get the change or put the money through. Us rideshare drivers don't have that in our Prius, in our Sienna, in our Honda Civic. And what happens if the guy exits the car and says, yeah, I paid the driver cash. I paid the driver $100, maybe more than the trip was worth, because they want to credit towards the next trip. And the driver says, hang on, I didn't get any cash. The rider exited the vehicle, he did not pay. Now that becomes a whole he says, she says, massive, massive problem. There were several people that were interviewed that stated that. They took on cash trips only then to find out that the rider just left the car, did not pay cash, told Uber, hey, I paid in cash. Who does Uber believe at the end of the day? This is super, super. Anthony says, Sergio, I don't know. I know Sergio well, dude. I take offense. I take offense to that comment. I'm not even going to read it out, Anthony. Sergio is a really, really good guy. Let me tell you that. I've known him for years. I've met with him at numerous events. The guy is solid. I will 100% vouch for Sergio. So I am not going to read that comment out that that individual wrote. Peter Sorrell says, good evening, doing Uber in Providence. Not here yet, cash. Well, good. I'm glad it's not there yet. It's in Los Angeles, it's San Diego, it's in Tampa, it's in San Antonio, and numerous other cities. So they're just opening up city after city with a cash payment option. The question is if you, the driver, will accept those conditions, because you can opt out, and I strongly suggest you opt out. Really, this is, if you think, oh, you know what, I'm going to get a couple of extra trips because I'm one of very, very few accepting cash. Yes, you are right, but you are also one of very, very few who's opening himself or herself up to major, major problems. You're in the wrong city and the rider knows you carry cash because he was matched with a driver that accepts cash. You are potentially putting your life in a lot of danger. My advice, do not do it. But there will be people that will do it. There will be people that will do it, and you're going to face all type of scenarios in the cash game. Like I said, several people said the rider got out the car and said, oh, I paid the guy cash. What is he talking about? He took my cash. And they can make up any excuse. They can say, okay, the $40 trip, I only had a $100 bill. I gave him $100 cash. I want my credits. So it's dangerous. And, you know, are you going to, now this 200 was a private trip. I just dropped someone off at a theater, right? This is, so, but I know the person. So with private trips and getting referrals with private clients, I know my clients. And yeah, I absolutely love it when they pay cash. Cash is king. But with Uber, and maybe Lyft is going to facilitate this soon as well, because they always copy each other. You just don't know who's getting inside your car. I won't take cash, says Rosario Rodriguez. Thank you. Amen. I think that's a very, very smart decision, Rosario. Everybody hit the like button. I like that. Thank you so much. Kulala, I like that. Will Jones. Uber is stupid to offer that. I think Uber is dumb to offer that. Putting drivers, once again, it just shows how much they care about the drivers. They do not care about the drivers. Did you honestly think that Dara Koshashawi, who says he's done a couple of Uber trips, that he is going to choose the cash option? Hell no. Hell no, Dara. So if Dara Koshashawi, who's done a couple of little fake Uber trips to look like one of us, doesn't accept cash, why should we accept cash? And again, this has been around since 2016. It was launched in Brazil, and they had a ton, it spiked, they had a ton of robberies. The moment the rider knows you have these notes. What a currency. There's euros, rubles, whatever currency. They know, this driver, I got matched with him. Why? Because I know they accept cash. That is dangerous. So, how are you, Dawson? I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Very kind of you to ask. I've been at traffic now for hour 30 minutes. They're doing a lot of construction on the 405. I don't know if LA drivers know that. Actually going to make a video what they're doing there over the next year. There's another big bullshit construction project for another year. So that's going to add 20, 30 minutes to your trip every single time. Peter Sorrell's in the house. Just as bad as of an idea as the gift cards. Amen. Cash is just as bad as the gift cards. Exactly. I mean, person going in and buying gift cards at CVS, and you really want them in your car? I don't think so. And Uber says, hey, don't you hate that when the people spray the water or their chemicals onto their window and then it comes and it completely covers your car in those chemicals? That's what the guy just did 3 times. No respect, the bastard. I don't take cash now and I still carry a gun. Good. Carrying a gun, I carry a gun as well. I'm not, and I do private trips. Like I hardly ever, very, very, very seldom do I do an Uber or Lyft trip. But I want to be protected at all times. I'm not like, there's too many wackos. Look at that wacko yesterday that killed those 2 kids and injured 17 children. There's too many wackos out there. You run into the wrong wacko jacko gets in your car. Justin, thank you, my friend. That is super kind. Justin smacked down a 20, rock star. He says, very informative, always championing financial independence. Love you, bro. Thank you, my friend. So, the transaction, a nice donation from Justin. Greatly appreciated, bro. But Justin, I'm sure you won't be taking cash trips from riders. There's a few things that really stick out that I don't like about this cash thing, right? Facilitating cash. So they're opening it up in cities. The good thing is you get to opt out. It's your choice. They cannot force that on you. And if you're a driver or a smart driver says, yeah, you know what, I might get a few little extra trips per day, but I do not want to open myself up to a robbery or a carjacking or a knifing or a shooting because that individual knows I carry cash. And there's a few other things that stuck out. There were a few drivers that signed up for cash that said, oh, the rider got in the car and afterwards said, oh, I paid the guy cash. I paid him cash. But they left, they exited. If you have a busy street and they're getting out at the traffic light, they just exit the car. It's their word against your word. I gave him $100. The trip was $46. I'm expecting a $54 credit towards the next trip. The driver says, hang on, I didn't get a $100 bill. So that opens the next problem. Are you going to be recording this? Are you going to be like recording this on your phone? The rider, Jack, just gave me $100. I don't have the necessary change. Therefore, Uber must give the rider a credit towards the next trip. Or Shelly just paid me $28. The trip was $28. They paid me $30. Here's the proof. I just paid Shelly $2 back. Are you going to record every single one of these trips? No. You should, but no, it's too unsafe. It's too unsafe. Because you're doing this during traffic, you're doing rides like, why is this idiot recording me? I signed up for Uber Cash. I just want to pay cash and get going. I don't want to be recorded by this driver. However, the driver has it recorded. They have all the proof in the world. If you have a dash cam, probably the best thing is you have a dash cam that's recording this. Big problems, says Rideshare does. I agree. I like that. Rideshare does. Big problems. Absolutely. Yeah. You're carrying this around, and then, 10, 15 trips later, how much money do you suddenly have? $600, $700, $800 in cash? Or you're putting a full Saturday night in and you're getting multiple cash, and the next thing you're sitting with $1,000 in cash? Hell no. Hell no. Vanessa is in the house. Uber Advantage mode is just another reason for Uber. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this bullshit advantage mode, standard mode, 2 different classifications of drivers. Oh, you're not good enough. You're in standard mode. Oh, you worked hard, little boy. We will now put you in advantage mode. What are you getting in advantage mode? What are they really giving you in advantage mode? Doesn't equate to this. Right? Advantage, schmantage, bullshit. So we have 58 people in the house. Kindly hit the like button. It looks like this, thumbs up. If you like cash like I do, thumbs up. If you like being paid cash from private clients, thumbs up. If you are opting out of Uber Cash and you say, no Uber Cash, I'm not accepting Uber Cash, thumbs up. And feel free to comment. Yeah, I'm accepting cash, I'm not accepting cash. My guess is that more than 95% will not accept cash, because they know how dangerous rideshare is already. And you driving around on a Friday and Saturday night at 2 a.m., you're accepting cash? Hell no. There, I see a whole bunch of thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. So I unknowingly accepted a cash ride today and won't be accepting. Okay, so it's interesting that you say that, but did you, on your settings, you just forgot to update the settings and it automatically put you together with a rider that had cash? How did that go down? Just out of curiosity, maybe you could share that with the audience. So you said, I made a mistake and I accepted cash, which my guess is in the settings you allowed, maybe you made a mistake in the settings that, yeah, I'll accept cash. The next thing you have a person in your car paying cash. How did that all go down? That'd be a great example if you could explain it to the audience. And if anyone has done these type of trips, and I'm not talking private clients, I'm talking rideshare, Uber rideshare, where Uber is allowing the rider that doesn't have a bank account, that doesn't have credit cards, but they have cash, and then they find a driver that is willing to accept cash, and here comes the rider with cash, and the driver is accepting cash. If anyone has done trips like that, what has your experience been like? Just super curious. And again, hit the like button. Thank you, my friends. Lyft sucks. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Cash is king. Bruce Smith says cash is king. I agree. I'm trying to actually pay. The person must think I'm a drug dealer or something, but I'm trying to buy a place in Tuscany, Italy, cash. And they're like, what? You paying in cash? Yeah, I want to pay cash. And funny story, my friends, a crazy story actually. When I did my studies in Germany, I was born in the United States. I was born in Washington, D.C., so I'm born American. I just have a weird South African accent. But I lived in multiple countries. I lived in South Africa, I lived in Europe, most of the years I've lived in the United States. During my studies, when I was studying in Germany through a building company, one of the largest building companies, it was called Hochtiefage, I had to repay my studies by doing 2 years in a foreign country. I was actually working in Russia, and that was the wild, wild west, because Russia just opened up. Communism was just sort of coming to an end. Capitalism was just starting, and I used to pay out. I used to fly from Germany with a few $100,000 in my suitcase because all the others were too afraid to do it. And I dealt with cash. I had casino businesses in South Africa. I would make 80, 100,000 a day in the casinos. So I was accustomed to cash, always had security guards, always armed. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. Obviously, they have to pay me a lot. And I did this. I'd fly from Germany with cash in a suitcase, got a special clearance at customs, and then would pay out the workers, thousands and thousands of construction workers. They were from Albania, they were from Romania, they were from, I mean, these people were hard construction workers, paid cash at the end of the month. So I mean, I totally agree. Cash is king. I love cash. But I'm the first one to say no cash when it comes to Uber rides. Just think it's a bad idea. So how do you get Uber share of cash? Well, hold the entire amount. If that trip was $200, the rider paid $200, you are holding the entire amount. Now, out of the 200, let's say Uber takes 140 and 60 is yours. You will be working off that 140 in future trips, credit card trips, non-paying cash trips, because they want their 140. Remember, the rider paid 200, you got 60 out of that transaction, but Uber says, hey, hang on, our share is 140, we have a credit with you for 140, you're going to drive and drive and drive until we get our 140 back. That's how they do it. It's bullshit. Exactly. Wendy hit the nail on the head. She says, yeah, Uber will charge $90 and Uber will only pay me $25. What the heck? 100% right, young lady. You're 100% right. Right? Now Uber says, oh, of that $90, hey, we want our $65, Wendy. We need the $65. You're going to work that off in future trips. So you have a negative. And until you turn that negative into a positive, yeah, but what happens now? What happens? You're working on a Saturday night, cash trip after cash trip after cash trip. And let's say you've accumulated $1,200, $1,500. That's easy, right? Now, out of the $1,500, you're doing trip after trip after trip after trip on a Saturday night, you're accepting cash, you're accepting cash, you're accepting cash. And the next thing you have $1,500 cash on you. Okay, firstly, you're a prime target for a robbery, 3, 4 in the morning. Secondly, out of that $1,500, let's just say you are lucky and you get 500, 600. Uber gets 900. Now you got to pay off that $900 because they want that 900. Oh yeah, we saw that you did 15 cash trips on Saturday between 6 p.m. and 3 a.m. We want our money. So you have this huge negative now, and now you have to start taking credit card paying trips in order to pay that off. Hell no, man. Forever in debt. Yes, exactly. Rideshare does hit, again, you said it, forever in debt. They can hold you in debt. And how do I know that they're not fudging the numbers with all those credits that they're keeping? Aha, good one. I didn't even think about this. Sam Duty, that's brilliant. What about counterfeit money? What about, hey, you're in a rush. The guy goes, hey, dude, thank you so much. Here's 100. Bam. And you're in the middle of traffic. The guy's getting out at a concert and he pays you with fake counterfeit $100 note. I've had kids in my car with $2,000 counterfeit money. You can't always it's busy. You're concentrating on the road. They got to get out. They're at a concert. There's hundreds of people. Hey, dude, thank you so much. Here's the $100. Counterfeit. Yeah, your ass is on the line for the counterfeit money. Or, I don't know enough about this, but is the transaction taken care of in the beginning or at the end? I would rather do it at the beginning. Hey, we're going on this trip. You opted for cash. Uber says it's $80. How do you want to pay it? Here. And then you can check the money. Okay, I'll check the money up. This looks like real money. Are you going to have that little counterfeit pen with you? You know, the little one with a brown mark? I mean, how much extra work do you have to do for cash? Just because Uber wants to tap into all those riders. And I think this is the dangerous part. I think it's dangerous if the individual doesn't have a credit card, no name attached, doesn't have a bank account, no name attached, but they have cash. Maybe they're a drug dealer. Maybe they're a stripper. Who knows? All I care about is your safety. And cash all day long with private clients. But in rideshare, my friends, I'm sorry. Nada. No. 9. Not a good idea. Tawana in the house says they can keep it 100%. Take your cash, shove it up your backside. I don't want your cash. I don't want your dirty cash. I don't want your stripper cash. I don't want your drug dealing cash. Take it. You want to avoid all that nonsense, you just simply don't sign up for cash. Simply do not sign up for cash. One of my favorite sort of sun's going down through the Malibu hills here. Love this time of the day. At least the traffic is flowing. Traffic is flowing. We have 76 people in the house. I kindly ask you to hit the like button. Right now I'm promoting my 2 top apps. The one is GigU. Great app, simple as 1, 2, 3. Makes quick split this second decisions. You put $1 per mile. So it'll red light, green light, or yellow light your trip. Green light means I take it. Red doesn't meet my qualifications. Same with safety riders. Safety of safety rating of the rider. If you say I won't take anyone under 4.9, if you get someone in the car that is 4.7, that's a red light, won't take the trip. And then the other app that I absolutely love, which I highly recommend you get, is Mile. I've still seen people miles into a little booklet, right? Everything done by pen. Because you have to distinguish, at the end of the year, you have to distinguish between your personal trips and your business trips. Business trips you can write off. Obviously, if you're taking your girlfriend to the movies, that's a personal trip. You can't write that off. But if you're driving a rideshare ride around, you're logging the miles, Mile IQ. You swipe right on the app, GPS is tracking all your trips. You swipe right for business related trip, you swipe left for personal. But back to the cash. So I think you guys and girls know my opinion. I say hell no. Not just no, but hell no. Please do me a favor for your safety. Don't take cash. Because if word gets out and it's starting to open up in cities and riders, let me find someone who takes cash. Let me just randomly book a trip at 3 o'clock in the morning. I know that driver has been driving around for 4 or 5 hours and accumulated a lot of cash. They have cash. I will go and get myself that cash. People with bad intentions will want to rob you of that cash. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Well, that transparent plexiglass partition, yeah, I mean, that's great for taxis, but you know, if you have an UberX where 3 or 4 people get in the car, one jumps in the front, the others are sitting in the back, they don't want to communicate through a plexiglass because you've installed plexiglass in your Prius. Another whole issue. Taxi drivers, the yellow cabs, you'll never see someone sit up front. That's it. That's there. The front is theirs, the back is yours. There we go. I like this. X Trickian says, please, for the love of mankind, do not accept cash. Amen. I appreciate you saying that. And for the love of mankind, please, my friends, do not take cash. Dineros, euros, doesn't matter. For safety reasons and for accounting reasons. And all the shenanigans and all the bullshit that a rider can pull and say, yeah, I gave him cash. What do you mean? He said he didn't accept cash. I gave him $100 on the way out. Problem right there. Nick says, why can't Uber give drivers the information on how many people are going in the car? You know, that it would be a great feature. Maybe drivers would decline if someone says, hey, we're 5 people or we're 4 people or 3 people. Would be a cool feature if before, you know, when you're booking your trip, that you actually have to say, well, how many riders you are. I think Uber and Lyft would worry, you know, there'll be too many cancellations. Yeah, exactly. Captain Howdy says, you're going to have to sit there and verify bills. You know, okay, is it counterfeit? Is it real? Is it not real? I mean, you're not a banker. What are they expecting you to be, the bank? Just because the rider doesn't have a bank account? Just because the rider doesn't have a credit card? Just because the rider can only pay in cash? Really? You want those type of people in your car? I don't think so. Let me verify bill. Let me verify this bill. Let me verify this bill. Hell no. We have Brian Walker in the house. Leaves a lot of comments on my channel. I appreciate you. We are contractors. We should have all the information. The middleman should provide that. Exactly. We're independent contractors. They should give us all the information. How many people, end address, beginning address, and there should be no punishment as an independent contractor. Just because maybe you're not feeling safe, you're canceling or you're not accepting, there should be no punishment attached. That's bullshit, because they're like, oh, you cancel too much, you deactivate it. No, it doesn't happen with acceptance rate, but cancellation rate with food deliveries and rideshare trips, they'll cancel your ass. That to me is breaching your rights, being an independent contractor. I'm an independent contractor, my car, my rules, I make the final decision. If I do not feel good about you, the rider, I don't have to take you. I can cancel there and then. Oh, we don't tolerate high amount of cancellations. El Camarada in the house. Jason's in the house. Yeah, so many robberies. It's gonna be robberies and setups. Cash, and I'm using hard data. They launched this in 2016 in Brazil. Brazil's rather dangerous. They launched this cash option in 2000 in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and the robberies went through the roof. You're telling me this is not going to happen now? It's offered in San Antonio, LA, San Diego, Tampa. Trying to tell me people are not going to look out like, I'm going to order a car at the right time and I'm going to go and steal his cash. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. We have 55 awesome people in the live stream. Hit that like button. Love the fact that Sergio Avidian got interviewed for that article. He says it puts a target, cash puts a target on your back, and he's right. He's absolutely 100% right. Shout out to Sergio Avidian. Brian Walker in the house. Good one. Wendy Loza. Wow, scary. Yeah, it is very scary. Maybe they'll supply us with pens to verify the bills. Exactly. Maybe they should supply us with those verification pens. You know, those ones that they have when you're checking out at Target or Walmart. Oh, this is $100. Let me just check this bill. They do that at In-N-Out. They do that everywhere. Yeah, are they going to supply us with verification pens? Because we got to figure out this one's fake, this one's real. No, that's not our job, my friends. We're not bankers. Why should we be like the bank for Uber, holding the money? And they're playing this little bullshit credit game. Oh, out of that $100, you owe us 60. So we're gonna take away from your future trips. Bullshit, man. I don't like it. I absolutely do not like it. I don't like it. Straight up front. This is why I brought up the plexiglass partition. At least it serves a physical barrier. No, you're 100% correct. It does. It offers some form of protection. Because that's got to be tough as a taxi driver in a yellow cab. Cash after cash after cash. You're driving in Paris. I mean, I was just paying with cash, with euros, right? But they have that big partition. Hopefully it's bulletproof. All my cars in South Africa, I had 5 cars. Every single one was bulletproof. And ladies and gentlemen, to make a car bulletproof, it is extremely expensive. It adds so much weight to the car because all the glass, all the doors have to be redone. It's very, very, very expensive. Brian says this idea is rooted on the basis that most of us are taking private clients. Their greed is unreal. Yeah, I mean, private clients all day long. Just convert Uber and Lyft riders to private clients. Get your commercial insurance, get your commercial registration, get your licensing for your state, and start making real money. I'll take this. This comes from a private client. There's 10 20s here. $200 from a private client. All day long. But I would not take this from some random ass Uber Black or Uber SUV or Uber Green or Uber Comfort rider. Hell no. Not taking your effing money. Sorry. You can go and spend that in the strip club. You can go buy drugs. I am not taking your money. Period. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. We've got Orlando in the house. Is Dara in prison yet? Hey, Dara, are you in prison yet? Good question. He says, is Dara in prison? Hey, Dara Koshashawi, if you can hear us, can you report from prison? Have they taken you to the cell yet? Have they put you in an orange jumpsuit? The orange of the jumpsuit, by the way, looks like this color. Dara Koshashawi needs a jumpsuit. Lock him up. Most corrupt CEO, most hated CEO in history. That's a fact, my friends. That's a fact. That is a fact. Got to have a little bit of humor, right? You accept cash trips? Hell no. Travel around with a whole security entourage. You know, Dara Khosrowshahi won't take cash trips. Hell no. So if Dara Khosrowshahi won't take cash trips, we shouldn't have to take cash trips. Period. Brian says, made 2K this week on private clients. Amen. 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 My goal, 7 days a week, my goal is a minimum of 500 a day. If I am not making $3,500 as a private driver per week, it happens sometimes under 3,500, I'm a very, very grumpy cat. If Monday to Monday I haven't made my $3,500, and it's not all cash, it's Venmo, it's Zelle, it's credit cards, and there are a couple of little credit card fees, but a lot of the people pay cash. And it sure smells good. It sure smells good. Can even roll it up and make a cigar. Cash. But not cash from a rider. Because I don't know where that money has been. Is it a stripper who had to do 10 dances to get the cash? Or is it a drug dealer who had to sell fentanyl to get the cash and then get in your car? Hell no, not happening. My friends, I'm checking up on one of my properties here, seeing what the builders are doing, rolling in. God bless you all. Thank you for your feedback on cash trips. Dara, we don't want cash trips. And for those people who think this is the solution for those drivers accepting this, I pray for you, because I don't want anything to happen to you. I don't want you to get robbed. I don't want you to get shot or stabbed because that rider knows you have cash. So God bless you all. Please, please, please. Number one, stay safe. 360 degrees. Make sure you know what's happening around you. Make sure your doors, your windows are locked. And if something feels off, if this part of your body says, nah, I have a bad feeling, please trust your gut, trust your intuition, and say no, cancel, drive away. You're most likely right. It is a weird feeling that we get in our body if something is off. Trust your instincts, trust your gut. And most importantly, please accept cash, unless, with a little disclaimer, unless it's a private client. Unless it's a private client. Otherwise, do not accept cash. If you want to learn how to get private clients, right beneath my video, Gig Rocket, I have a 300-minute course. I teach you how to get a lot of these from a lot of people. And that is money, my friends. Be safe out there. On the way out, please hit the like button. God bless you all. And take care. All the best, my friends. And again, thank you so much for that amazing $20 donation that I got from Justin Horton. Appreciate you, bro. Much love. Please stay safe, everyone. Leave your comments below if you're coming into the live feed. Comment, will you or will you not take cash? Be safe.